Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am so pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We're really looking forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's at the very heart of what we do: hotel safety and security. And just so you know, this program is specifically designed for hospitality students and professionals like you, people who are seeking practical knowledge that's directly aligned with real-world hotel operations. Think of this as your playbook for excellence. All right, so let's get right into it. We're going to break this down into 5 core pillars. We'll start with the very foundation of trust, then we'll look at the security measures you can see and the ones you can't. After that, we'll talk about emergency preparedness, and we'll wrap it all up with what I believe is the most important part, the human element. So first up is what I call the foundation of trust. Because before we even start talking about specific protocols or fancy new technology, we have to get this one thing right. It's the principle that every single safety measure is built on. And that one thing is the duty of care. Now, this isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have idea. It is a hotel's absolute core, legal, and ethical obligation. If you fail here, you're not just looking at a bad review. You're looking at lawsuits, massive fines, and maybe even irreparable damage to your brand. And it means you're responsible for literally everyone, from the guest in the presidential suite to the vendor making a delivery. I really like this quote because it frames safety so perfectly. It's not just a department down the hall or another checklist to tick off. It's the invisible framework that holds your entire operation together. A security breach doesn't just put a guest at risk, it threatens the hotel's assets and, maybe most critically, its reputation. And that's exactly why it has to be a strategic priority.
And this is so important to understand. This duty goes way beyond just putting up a wet floor sign. We're talking about emotional security, making a guest feel genuinely safe from intrusion. And today, maybe more than ever, we're talking about data protection. Are you guarding their credit card numbers, their personal info? It's all part of the same fundamental responsibility.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's move on to our second section, and you'll see how this all starts to build. We're talking about the visible shield. These are the tangible security measures that guests actually see, and they form your first, most obvious line of defense. Now, there are really 4 key components that make up this shield. You've got surveillance, access control, security personnel, the things most people think of. But that 4th one, strategic lighting, that's kind of the unsung hero here. It's easily one of the most effective and cost-effective deterrents you can have.
And each one of these plays a really specific, crucial role. You know, CCTV isn't just there to record what happens, its mere presence is a powerful deterrent. And those modern key cards? They don't just open a door, they create a digital trail of who went where and when. A professional security officer provides that visible, reassuring presence. And well-lit hallways and parking lots actively reduce the opportunity for crime. They all have to work together. But of course, prevention is only half the battle, right? Our third section is all about what happens when things do go wrong, preparing for the unexpected. This is all about having a rock-solid response plan. And when you look at the areas of preparedness, this chart makes it crystal clear where the biggest risk is. Yeah, you absolutely have to plan for medical emergencies and natural disasters, but fire safety, that's still the top priority. Think about it. In a tall building full of hundreds of guests, a fire becomes a race against time where every single second counts. So, a really solid fire plan has 4 key parts. First, you need to detect it with alarms and detectors. Second, you have to suppress it, usually with sprinklers. Third, you absolutely need clear and well-practiced evacuation plans. But look at that 4th step, staff training. All the alarms and sprinklers in the world are useless if your team doesn't know how to use an extinguisher or guide panicked guests to safety. The people are the key. All right, so we've covered physical threats. Now let's shift gears and talk about the threats you can't see. Welcome to the Invisible Fortress, where we're going to dive into protecting the enormous amounts of data that modern hotels deal with every single day. And it's so important to understand the difference here. Physical security is about guarding the doors, the hallways, the people. Cybersecurity, that's about guarding a reservation system, your payment portals, your guest database. And let me tell you, in today's world, a failure in one can be every bit as devastating as a failure in the other. And believe me, the impact is very, very real. Just imagine for a second, your entire reservation system is frozen solid by ransomware during a completely sold-out weekend. Or a data breach leaks the credit card details of thousands of your guests. That trust you've built?
it can be gone overnight. These are not abstract risks. They are direct threats to your business.
And this simple protocol, this cycle, it applies to any incident, whether it's a fire alarm going off or a data breach. You identify it, assess the impact, act immediately, and document everything. But the real key here, the part that separates the good from the great, is that final step: review and learn. Without it, you're just setting yourself up for the same thing to happen all over again.
Okay, this brings us to our final section, and honestly, it might be the most critical one of all: the human element of safety. Because all the technology, all the plans in the world, they mean absolutely nothing without a strong, proactive safety culture driven by your people.
And really, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? A strong safety culture is built on two massive pillars. You need that unwavering commitment from leadership. They have to provide the resources and set the tone, and you need continuous high-quality staff training. And right behind that is empowering your employees to speak up when they see a hazard. That's how you get ahead of problems.
And this is where we see that safety is truly everyone's job. It's a full-on ecosystem. Leadership sets the vision. A well-trained staff is who executes that vision effectively. Empowered employees become your eyes and ears on the ground. Even your guests have a role to play. It's a collaborative effort, through and through.
So I want to leave you with a final question to really think about as you move forward in your careers. As technology gets more and more advanced, we're talking AI surveillance, biometric access, where should our most critical investment be? Is it in the next shiny piece of technology, or is it in the ongoing training and empowerment of the people who make our hotels safe every single day? It's something to think about.